Hi everyone, welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening from wherever you're joining. I'm very glad to see you all here. We have this is an event which we are organizing through MCT Tamil and Microsoft Tech Talks. I'm really excited to see you all here and host this exclusive session proudly organized by MCT Tamil and Microsoft Tech Talks. A big thank you to Gerald and Sophian, who are the organizers, and also this our special speaker today is Santosh Kamala. So he's a senior consultant and he has a over a decade of experience in finance and analytics. He's a CFA, PMP, and Microsoft certified trainer. Santosh is recognized as an expert in Excel and Power BI. He's also a MCT community lead. Okay, so he is an expert in Power BI and Excel. He helps professionals unlock insights and drive a smarter decision. With his deep expertise in accounts, finance, and business analysis, and his passion for teaching, Santosh will guide us through how Python takes Excel beyond formulas and pivot tables, like into the world of advanced analytics. Like he will be helping us to dive in. So before giving the mic to Santosh, I just wanted to introduce myself as we are the organizers for MCT Tamil. So I'm Dr. Gomati. I'm a MCT community lead, MVP, and I'm Microsoft Learn expert. I recently wrote two books. That is last year I have written my two books, and my domain is Business Central and Power BI. So as like we both are sailing in somehow in a same boat, like Power BI is what my expertise as well. Excel, I wanted to learn from Santosh. So that is what the main agenda here. So he will take over the session now. Hi, Santosh. Welcome and thank you so much for your time and to share your knowledge here. The dice is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Gomati, and a good evening, everyone who connected from India, and good morning or good afternoon, based on your place. So let's begin the show. Okay, so this is I am creating a context behind it today. I hope my voice is loud and clear. Are you able to understand? Okay,
Yes,
fine.
yes, audible,
So,
audible.
what I am targeting, my target audience today, they are not from the developer background where say looking to forward to understand a lot of coding and all. No. Today I'm going to introduce, the Excel. So Excel is a open source analytical tool available at Microsoft. So recently Microsoft have tied up, they have bring a plugged in as a Python inside the Excel. Okay, so it is no more Python. You many of us know is a technological world. It's an advanced technology. There are a number of writing formulas, writing a lot of codes to understand how does it work and all. Okay, so my target is not here today to give deep dive into Python code. Rather than I want to help you, how to do a better data analytic only in one tool called Excel. In the Excel, we are writing a lot of function and formulas. Now, how your Python will be help at here to do you more data analytic, maybe doing a correlation between two data. There are a lot of advanced features is available, the artificial intelligence, machine learnings, all those things can be feasible today with the help of Python. So today you can find two type of people in the market. There are some people who are very advanced in the Python code. They are doing a lot of hackathons, getting a lot of business value out of it. My objective is how to make these two level of people, handshake inside an Excel. Okay. To start with, I'm trying to share my screen. Please help me, Umati, once you
Yeah,
see
sure,
my
sure.
screen. Okay, so I'm just trying to
Meanwhile,
share
if
my
anybody
screen.
of you have any queries, please comment it or share it in the Q&A. I'll be happy to answer those questions. If I don't know the answer, I will just pass that to Santosh after the session. Yes, your screen is visible, Santosh. You can go ahead.
Thank you for confirming. So as Gumati told, I make the session in such a way which will make you comfortable. Neither I'm going to use a lot of jargons like a lot of codes and all. As I told, it is a fast introduction session, and you can see as per my the screen. So Python will be an plugin inside the Excel. So this is what my objective is, not go very deep level into the coding, at least to understand how you can run the Python inside the Excel. Okay, so just to before I give it, I'll just give my next slide. It's just about myself. I'm a CFA qualified, having 17 years of experience, and predominantly in the banking and accounting and finance. I specialize in data analytics. You can find me in LinkedIn. I'm giving a lot of talk like this and designing the financial KPI dashboard. So as on today, I train more than 4,000 plus professionals, only professionals which are in the corporate world. I am also an MCT speaker. I am an MCT certified trainer. And these are the basic tools which I usually give the training, the Power BI, Excel, and the business professional PPT. So this is all about myself. This is my certifications which I have done it. So I don't want to kill out couple of time over here. Let's move ahead. So this is what I'm trying to give today, the new beginning. So the way the session will go, I'll have couple of slides, but I'll have a place where I can give a live demo, so by which you can understand, how the Python does working. So this is what I call a new beginning. So when I say new beginning, Excel is not today as a traditional Excel. So Excel is more becoming a data analytical tool. So that is what, in Excel they have introduced Python. So how can you find Python where it is available? So in Excel, it is predominantly available only Office 365 today. In Office 365, if you have subscribed it, and this is today is available in the beta model. When I say beta model, it is basically in the testing phase. Like we, Gumati and me, we are part of the MCT world. So we have in introducing the starting phase. We are the persons coming like this kind of community, and we are giving what is newly available, the new functions features available. So this is available today, and very shortly it is going to be available for all the Office 365 subscribers. So they will find, and where you find it, inside the formula bar of Excel. Inside the formula bar of Excel, you might have already seen this all logical functions and all. There is one window created which is called the Python code. Okay, so this is a Python code, and my target today to help you to understand these all particular code over here, how this Python will be work, and what kind of code you do, and what else Python can able to help you to do that. Okay, so this is the place where you can find the Python, but the way you write, as I told, my session will be how can you write the Python code inside the Excel cell. Okay, so if you are intermediate or basic part of Python, if you are already using and you know how the Python does work, like pandas, there are a lot of library will be there. It is very quite easy today, just to input. So that is what I'll give the demo, how to bring the Python inside the Excel. So basically, the moment you write equals to py, that's all. The moment you write equals to py and tab, because tab is activate that particular function, your Python will be activated inside the Excel itself. Okay, so the moment you write equals to py, earlier you might have seen in the formula bar equals to something it will show, but the moment you write it, it will come as a Python. Okay, like py it will come. So here you will start writing the Python code. Okay, now, normally the traditional Excel writing, when you're writing say, some formula, at the end you put enter, then Excel execute that particular formula. But if you started with a py as a Python, you have to use control and enter. The moment you write control, the give control and enter, then the Python code is going to execute. If you keep writing enter, so it will not understand. It is not understand means it is not executing the Python code. It's just going one more line again and again. Okay. The moment you write the formula, I'll give you this kind of formula today session. So then you can able to find out, the Python is expecting the answer control. The moment you put control enter, then Python will be executable there. Now, the question will come in the mind. Python is having such a big subject in this current world, doing so many advanced technology. How with one PY it will work out today? So the way it was designed, the Python, if you see, I'm going to give you a functional cartography how the Python does work today. First of all, any Python code work in Excel, you should have a strong internet connections. Okay. Python cannot work without having an internet. Why I am saying this one? This is how think you are a Excel user. You are a user, you are writing the code like Python code you are writing. Okay. So what exactly the work does in the backend? This is the new concept from the Microsoft Office 365. So this code, like you have writing the code, it will go to the Azure cloud. To go the code to the Azure cloud, you need to have the internet connection over here. If you don't have internet connection, Python will show as a connection error over there. Okay. Now, whatever those Python libraries are there, this is available inside the Azure. Okay. So it's not visible to you as a user. For a user, it's just a Python, and whatever you normally, if you have some experience on Python writing code, so those are currently available today inside the Excel formula. So then whenever you write a formula, it will go to Azure. Inside the Azure, already the Python is inbuilt function over there. Only the condition is you have to have a Microsoft Office 365 subscriber. The code will go to the Azure. In the Azure, the my Python code will be executed. Then then it will be returned back the answers to the Azure, and from the Azure it will come back to the Excel. This is the workaround, this is the functionality behind it, how Microsoft make the handshake with Azure, the Python. So Python cannot be feasible directly to you, okay? Rather, Python will be there inside the Azure. That is the reason you have to have a internet connectivity. So through that internet connectivity, the whatever the Python code you will write, it will go and execute, and then the result will come to over here. Okay. So this is just a beginning. Okay, so let me start with the demo, so by which you can able to understand very clearly. I am going to share my Excel screen. Gomati, could you please
Yeah,
help
yeah,
me? Are you
we
able
could
to?
see the,
Okay.
yeah, we could see the Excel screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
Perfect.
so now every coder in this current world, they always like to write a hello world. This is the first code which you given. So as I can see my target audience, to give you how the Python does work. So I am going to write a syntax which will give me hello world. But before to that, as I told, if you go to Excel, so I am in Office 365 subscribers as being an MCT, you can see in the formula bar, I have already a Python over here. And if you are connecting from your personal laptop or personal desktop, if you are not Office 365 subscriber, you may not see this one. Okay, but the moment you will become Office 365, it will be start showing to you on Excel formula bar itself. Okay, so now let's execute the first Python to get your hello world as an answer. So how do you get it? As I told, go equals to and type py. Py stand as a Python, and the moment I type, you can see it is showing create Python formulas. Okay, so the moment you create it, you can use tab button. Okay, the moment you click tab button, you can see in the formula bar certain changes is happening. Okay, I'll just give escape and read it again. Now, when I write some formula, 2 plus 3. Okay, how does it shows to me? It will show as a 5. You can see this is the formula bar, and this is some effect, something is coming. But now, when I execute Python, I need to write py. You can see nothing is changed. The moment I use tab button, now you can see some changes is happening. Okay, because Excel is trying to convert this cell. Now here onwards, you will write the Python code over here. And if you go to my top formula bar, you can see everything is deselected because system is now understanding that this is a Python code you are going to write it. Okay, and wherever I can find in other way, if you go to formula bar and the moment you click insert Python, So the same thing will be come over here, and you can see it will give you some guide, how to use Pythons and all. I'll come back to here just for you to understand how the Pythons will be start. You can start it too because it's new for all of us. There is something called describe, which I can able to make you understand in this particular part. You can create lot of correlations which Excel is not able to do it in having a larger data set. Okay, and lot of charts and graphs which is already in my pipeline. I'll give you at the end of the sessions. Okay, now let's start with how can I write the first Python code to get a value of hello world. So it's simple, write py, open the create a tab button. Okay, now in between the parenthesis code I start typing hello world. Okay, that's all. I'll just close the bracket. And if I put, as I told, put enter, normally people do this mistake. If you put enter, what will happen? This is going entering one more line over there. Okay, it is not executing over here. Okay, so what I can do the moment I write it, I need to use control and enter. The moment I write control letter, you can see certain point of time it is trying to get the value showing as a busy. When it is seeing busy, just it's a fraction of a second. It was taking the data from this cell to the Azure cloud. Inside the Azure cloud, there's a Python, and immediately it will give in back. Okay, and if you can see, it is showing something called py over here. Okay, but if I want to get the value directly, so there is in the formula bar beside there is a two icon is there. Do you want to Python as an object? Let an example big table you load it. Okay, it will take as an object over there. If I say no, I want as a value. So it is simple. You can see it's coming as a value over here, and you getting over here as a value. Now here you can take copy this particular value, go to any other place the way you do know your paste as a value. It can convert as a normal value. This cell is not connected to your Python. But if you see this cell is connected to Python. Now, if I suppose I want to change the value to the Python object. So what is Python object? Basically, it is a data frame behind it. Okay. So it is trying to be get. So now you can see this is coming as a Python object. So now why I'm saying it's a Python object, the moment I click it over here, you can see it is taking as a Python string. What is the Python type? Is a Python type name. And you can see this is powered by the Anaconda. Anaconda is the biggest library behind the Python. So Python is basically run on that. So you can see how this value come over here. And also you are having certain icon, what other fields should be there. You can get these all things. I'll go one by step. But what I'm saying is now here, this hello world, which you can see over here, is not like a normal one. It is coming through the Python over here. Okay. People might have asked, okay, it's a simple hello world. I can type it and get the value I need in Python. Your need is required because this is a new world. Okay, it is not end up with only hello world. So there are so many other examples out there. Then you can able to understand why this Python is introduced inside the Excel over here. Okay, I hope Mumati, there will be no questions so far because I didn't see any kind of screen
Yeah.
except me.
No question. I think Gerald has raised his hands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gerald, we can. I can take your question. Yeah.
I have a question in general. So you mentioned in the beginning of this session that M365 license is needed, right? Along with M365 license to activate this Python, do I need any Azure credits?
No, it is a simple. It's just a plugin. It's directly come over here. You don't need any kind of Python related. Only you have to be an Office 365 user. That's all.
Okay. And one more question from my end is like, do you provide some kind of real use case in industry where we utilize it? Because currently we have VS Code and various other IDEs where we
Mm.
use Python. But
Mm-hmm.
how it is going to mainly differentiate from ID using Python in IDE from Excel? So
Okay, so I wish to pack this question till end because slowly with my example those will be covered. Okay, even I have already tried to compare. I may not cover in this session. Maybe next sessions I can give it. I have tried to. Python is today is working as an ETL tool. You know, you can load a number of data over there. So we have tried to compare 2 GB of data inside Excel just connecting to the Python, one set of production to your UAT environment data, certain kind of we try to compare two bigger data set inside Python. I know today Excel is cannot able to go more than 1 lakh 10 lakh 48,000 lines, but there the lines are nearly about 4 million lines. Okay, but we can run it and we can create a chart and again find the difference, the real-time difference. And it is just like as Excel formula. The moment you write some formula, put control enter, it will give you the data directly connectivity. Okay, so those things I can cover it later, but not I cannot execute a bigger code of lines over here. But however, no need of any other license like in the Python license and all. It is already those features available inside the Python as part of the Azure cloud. It is installed over there. Okay,
Thanks,
so let's
Santosh.
move
Thanks for
ahead.
answering.
Okay, thank you. I may get some other questions at the end. I can take it up. Let's proceed now. Okay. So to move ahead, I have one more data set over here, and this one I'll try to help you. How do you get the data from different source? Okay, is it only by writing a code or something? So I want to give you now. You can able to get the data from a single cell as well. Like in Excel you have some data. How can I get it over here? The moment you write, like an example, I'm writing a Python code. I want to get some value from this only one single cell now. So if you write py, okay, give it tab and try to give a reference to this particular cell, you can see automatically Excel is writing Excel and bracket. Okay, so that means Python can understand that the source of the data is coming from the Excel, and after this particular one, I can give the control enter. Okay, it was trying to read the data. So basically, this py which you can see in the bracket, it is saying is an object. So Python is having a multiple objects. Okay, it will store the data in the behind, and this data will behind in the in-memory system. I'll talk about later point of time. But if you want to execute this data as a value, you just need to go behind the formula bar. There is something called Excel value. So those data will convert into an Excel value over here. Okay. Same way, I want to give you certain range of the data you want to get it over here. Like, I have certain data over here, and you can see this looks like a table, but Excel is having a features. It is not a table. If it is a table, there will be a table will come. I need to give that information later now. Okay, in my fourth, fifth number example. Now I want to get the data from a different set of data. So now you can see if I go over here, write py Python. Okay. Now again, I'm going to give certain range of the data over here. Now you can see how the formula is writing. I'm not writing anything. I just write py. I give a reference to certain cells. Okay. It is automatically Python is writing, Excel underscore this heads true. Okay. So this is how if you go to Python and write and get the data something from Excel, it will go in same way. Excel and understood like that way. So if I go and execute is called control and enter. So now just for a fraction of seconds, it's showing busy. Why it is showing busy? Because it's trying to get the data from the Azure cloud. Okay. Now here it is again is a py means it's a data frame. Okay. Normally many of the Python coder may know what is data frame. Data frame basically where the data is stored now. Okay. Now if I want to convert this data to normal data, so I can go ahead and click Excel value. So what will happen? Again, it will take a busy certain point of time. It is go to the data set and try to understand what is this particular H8 to M15. So this data will come back over here. Okay, so if I go back again to convert into Python object, I can convert in Python object over here. If I click this particular Python code, you can see it will show you the data frame saying it's a 6 rows, 6 columns, and certain the look and feel of the data. It can able to show that, and it is saying that okay, it is powered by the Anaconda, so it is coming from there directly. Okay, now what other thing maybe people you might have know that Python is having any data frame you called as particular a name. Now here this data frame is there in the Python code. I'm going and saying that okay, this is a data frame df1. Df1 equals to Excel. I don't given, just given this particular one df1, and I put control enter. Okay, so now here if I go, I know this particular data, certain data I have selected and I given them as a df1. I can go ahead over here, I can write Python over here, and I can type df1 over here. Okay, and put control enter. So now again it is the same data, but you can see the formula difference. Here you define the data frame, then second you are going and calling that particular data frame over here. Okay, now if you want to get the value, if you call, it is going and giving the value over here. Okay, now if I say okay, I don't want this data frame as a value but as a object, but what I want to know, please describe this data frame, because this is a very basic part of Python to understand how many rows, how many columns, what is the particular data type and all. So there is a code called a describe in the Python. Normally, now you can see this Excel formula bar is no more as a traditional Excel formula bar, rather than it's becoming a Python code written Excel bar. So where I can go, there is a code called describe. I can go here describe. Okay, so describe. The moment you type it, now become as a Python code. You can see there are n number of Python code automatically come over here. These all are the pandas code. So Python can, the moment you start writing the data frame, because I given a data name to there, it can show you what are the things you can able to play around the Python. Now one of the code is called describe. I can go and just typing des. This is how the Excel users, they know, they don't no need to write. When you write VLOOKUP, when you type VL, it will show you VLOOKUP. Then you can put the tab button, it works. Same way, this Excel sheet, this Excel cell is now connected to Python. Now, whatever the library in the Python, you can just type it. It will show you that there is something called describe. I put the tab button over here, and just like the Python code, open the bracket, close the bracket. Now I put control enter, not the enter only. You can see it is showing Python you are using. Now here you need to use control enter to commit the Python code. The moment I do and click control enter, now you can see it's showing little busy. Now it is going the data, and I would coming output always a data frame. Why it is giving as a data frame? Because if think about, you are using 100 MB of data, some 20 million lines of data over there. Okay, so Excel will give this data, it will take more space over there. So first objective is to give as a data frame. But if you want to, because it's a describe column, I know there will be no more data over there. If I go to Excel value, now see the magic. It is showing you how exactly the Python code give it. Okay, so it will give you those data which all are, there is a two concept of the data called as your fact data and your dimension data. Okay, so normally the fact data is basically the transactional data, and the dimension data, where you put the lookup and all, and where you basically do the calculation. So system understand out of your 5 columns, this date column, this sales column, this box columns can be able to describe it. So by which it can comment, okay, in the sales, there are 6 counts, because here in the data frame, I given only H8 to M14. So to understand, it's only 6 columns, 6 values over there. And if I see the box and sales, you can see if I give over here, it is taken till M14. If I go till M14, you can see only the boxes. you can see their sum is 3260 over here, but if you see the maximum value, it's saying the maximum value is 800. The average value, the average basically in Python world called mean. So mean is 540.33. So all those things it will come as a value. This is just a first initial to understand what is the Python code over here. Okay, so this is how the Python code work around. But however, I will give you, how you can make it more dynamic. Okay, so basically to make it more dynamic, I given only a sort of set of range of the data, but now let me, give a defined name. Normally, how to define a name inside Excel. Basically, you select this data. Wherever you select any cell data, you can see behind the formula bar, there is a cell address. Now I'm at P3, saying P3. If I go at L3, it's saying L3. But now what happened if I selected this entire data? If I selected this entire data, it is showing H8 because from H8 I have started. But what else if I go inside this and define my name called my data? And give this name as a my data. Okay. So now what will happen in Excel, wherever you go and type any formula equals to and type my, you can understand automatically a defined name is arranged. So my data can be called out everywhere. It is not only applicable at here. If I go to any other Excel cell and give equals to and type my data, I can able to call out those data from there to here. Okay. So now how Python can also, integrated into that way. Like if I go over here, I define the name to over there. Okay. So I can go over and type, py. Okay. So now what the formula I have used over here? I have used like, Excel, and this is basically the data I have used it. Okay. So same thing I can able to call out over here by giving py. Sorry, equals, I need to give equals to py. Now here, what the formula I have given, I just put it, but here I don't need this H8 because that is for the define the name. I can type my data over here. You can able to see over here. I given my data over there. Okay. And the moment I give this my data over here, you can see now I have put control enter. You can see this also come as a data frame now. Now, if I want to convert into the data value, I can able to get particular data over here, all the data which I have given over here. Okay, so now same thing. If this my data is there, I can able to convert into a defined name. Yes, I can go ahead, give okay. Now this is my defined to. I can give equals to and put control enter. So I can convert this as my Python object. So you can see each point of time you might have noticed, it is going, searching. It's kind of some few seconds is taking because every time it is going and, taking the data inside the Python code. Okay. Now here, if I want to give a describe over here, this particular one I given a df2. So this is particular one which I have given. So you can copy this, Excel is having a beauty, you do have the copy some formulas again the paste it. Now here is only df2. Now I'm going to give again Python, and whatever the code I have copied, I paste it over here because it's a describe one and change from df1 to df2. Now I put control enter. Now you can see again it is creating a data frame. I can again create an Excel value. See, now it was changes. Okay, earlier I given Excel range some few value. So based on that 6 record, it show the data or it is a describe of this data. Now I given the entire data set. Now to understand, okay, there are 12 data, and if I see the mean value is 540 here, 543. This is now 540.0833. If I select it, you can see exactly the mean value is 540.833. So there are so many other features are there which may not cover in 1 hour of session, but my target is, how the Python codes are started working inside the Excel cell. Now, the moment I am changing some data to like Python object, okay, you can see all the Python formulas are working together. Now you can imagine if you are keep writing Python code, you are having some 30-40 Python code, and every time it was going to the Python, the Azure and impact, but then performance also impacted. So they also understand that particular, how the Python code will have the performance point of view. They do have also, certain thing called initializations of the Python code, the calculated sheet. Okay, so there are all other features will be there where we can go ahead. You can understand the other Python code. Like I can go over here, whatever the Python codes I have keep writing, it will start checking those Python codes. I can able to see over here. I have write the hello world. I have h5, whatever the code I have written, I given. But the beauty what they want, if certain cases you don't want to make your performance better, don't calculate all the Python code. So there is a called calculation options will be there. It is already given as a automatic. Automatic means whatever the data was there, it will be only all the Python code will be by default running it. But I can also choose as a manual. The moment I do at the manual, and then I can go ahead and put control enter over here. Okay, you can see only that particular values is going to work over here. Okay, why it is showing error to me? Because for this manual, this also need to be code because this is connected together. Okay, so where I can also go ahead and create as a partial over here. Instead of manual, I can get as a partial. Now here, if I go and put control enter, it will give the data. First, I can give over here. Just a minute. I need to, okay, so there is something called calculate seat. Whatever the data in the seat, you can click it. Okay, then it will be work out. So what my objective is, there are three options will be there. Automatic will be automatically work out for the things. And if you want to better organize it, you can create a different framework in different seat, and then you can do it. Let an example of I keep it is the formula as a partial. Now here I want to calculate now. Okay, so in that case, it will only calculated those which has the dependency Python formulas. But if I want to do make it as a automatic, and I do the calculation now, or calculated sheet, it automatically work. All the field need to work together over here. Okay, so now it is not only a single cell, there's some range, defined range. So there is something called dynamic array. So dynamic array, basically, if you are referencing to somewhere, like if I given over here, I call as a my data. So my data is basically from here, but you can see it's a dynamic array. It is a particular area where all the data you have called out. There is something called hashtag. Like, this is a new tradition going on. If you go to any LinkedIn, you have hashtag. If you go to X or you do Twitter, there is a hashtag. So this particular formula I have given in H28. Okay, if I go over here and equals to give H28. Okay, now if I call as a hashtag, what will happen? H28, whatever the values are there, I can able to call it out. This is how the hashtag, to give a reference is already inbuilt in Excel. In Excel, you can call out by an hashtag over here. But same thing, Python can also understand now. If you, the moment you write Python and give this particular data set over here, you can see automatically it understands a hashtag. Because H8 is a dynamic array formula you have given. The moment you put control enter, so then again, this is going to be worked out over here. And again, it's a data value. I can convert into Excel value. I can able to get those particular data over here now. Okay. So, but whatever I say range, defined name, and dynamic range, this is required for you. If the data set is keep changing, it is creating a problem. Okay. If you go to an Excel world, always people use as a table. Okay, so what is basically table? I'll tell you about you. So if I copy this data to a different area now, okay. So now you might think this looks like a table, but this is not a table. The table will have a Excel features over here called as a table over here. The moment how can I convert into a table? So if you see insert, there is always already available a table feature. You can see it's called Control T. So whenever you are in the Excel particular cell of particular data range, you can go to use Control T. It will try to ask you, do you want to create a table? Yes, I want to create a table. So the moment you get, now you can see table design came over here. If I go to any other cell, there is no table design. The moment I come over here, it can understand this is a table. And here you can define the table name. Okay, I am just giving you, say this is Santosh data. Okay, so system will understand this is Santosh data. Now here, if you go and give py code, Python code, and selected this particular entire data, Now Python is understanding this is called Santosh data, and you have already header. And the moment you put control enter, the system will understand and it create a data frame. Let me at this point of time give this data frame name as df99. As normal the Python code people they write it. I given a name over here df99. I put control enter. So now this df99 I'm trying to give a description over here. Okay, so df sorry, I need to initiate equals to py. So the moment I write py, it convert to py. So then I given df99 dot describe. Okay, I close the bracket. So now you can see I put the control enter. Now it's giving me the data set in the form of data frame. Now I'm converting into data set. Now you can see there are 12 records, what is the value and all. Now you can see over here the moment, as I told you, it's an Excel formula. Now I'm going to add some few more data over here. I just copied the same level of data. I'm adding over here. Now you can see it is immediately calculating like the Excel formula give the values. This is the beauty. This is the beauty they have added the Python inside Excel. Like the way Excel work, immediately it will give the answer the moment you put enter. Now here it is the moment you give control enter, it will ask it to understand, okay, the Santosh is a table and this table is no more having 12 more records, now 3 more records have added. It's dynamic. It will give you, this is the data. You can see the average. The average is 558. Exactly, it's giving the 558 and maximum is 993. Now suppose let an example, I have changed some value instead of 993, I'm giving 1050 over here. You can look at over here. Immediately it change the value to 1050. And this is what, the Python is trying to bring the changes over here, to get those kind of value over here. And many questions will come, oh, Santosh, what else if my data size is more? Okay, if my data size is more, how can I handle it? And suppose you are getting a data from a CSV, okay, some different places. So I don't know many of you know or not, in Excel, like Power BI, we have a Power Query. So you can load this data from any number of places, either in website, from CSV, from XML, wherever you want. You load this data and put as in the connections. So for me, let me give an example. I have one particular data set over here. You can see over here there is a data set. How many records are here? Around 98 records over here, and you can understand this is not a table. This is looks like a table, but this is a range of the data. So now I'm creating a table over there. I put a control and give a control T and click OK. So now I can give this is a table. I can go to the table. I give this name as called SKK, my name underscore 123. Okay. So this is a table I have given SKK 123. Now Power Query users, like the way I'm just trying to give you, if you are in Excel but your Excel data is some other place, you can go to data and you try to connect this data. So today this data is in Excel, so I'm just trying to get this data from this table and range. So like the new Power Query window will become. So we can initiate some session Power Query, but today it is about the Python. But I want to give you like how Python can also make handshake with Power Query. So now this is SKK 123, one particular data set. I'm trying to load this particular one. Okay. Now here, what I'm trying to do now, you just ignore my previous one code. I just want to delete that. Okay, so SKK 123 is an Power Query code I have written for that. Now this Power Query, I don't want to do anything. I just want to give this name something different. My fast PY. Okay, so this is my code name, my one PY. So I try to load, close and load this data. And now this time I'm putting as a connection because no need of data set this Excel file to be used. I have my PQI. This is the data set I given. Now here you can see, like the way earlier I have given, to define certain particular name over here, and you can also see there is a place where I can give a define name table as a header. Okay, let me copy the same code like the way I usually do. Usually, if you do traditional Excel. So now here I am writing PY. I'm defining now, this is DF2. I'm not trying to DF2. I'm making DF125, something like that. Okay. So now this time, this is not my data. Now here, the moment you see, the moment you write an Excel code, you are saying, do you want to call Santosh data? Do you want to call this one? And you can see other one also. My 123 is showing over here actually, my PY123, because it's trying to understand that you have some data coming from different source. That triple dot is there, so it can understand. You can double click, so it is now trying to create the code over here, like my 1PY3, where I can able to get the data. I put control enter now. So system is trying to get the data frame over here. This data is ready. Now I can go ahead. If you want to real data, you want to see, simple, you can go over here, click exact value. So now system is trying to get the data not from this table, get the data from the Power Query itself. Okay, so this is the data frame over here now. Okay, now if I want to get a describe over here, I can go over here, put what is my data frame over here called D5125. I go over here and write again equals to py python. Now I give this dy125 dot describe. You can see automatically the system will give me the code with describe. Put control enter. Now it is trying to read the data of the describe, and you can see it is getting okay. You have 96 number of lines. If I go to the sales column, it is having, sales is having the average of 1817, 185. You can go over here. You can see this is having the same thing. All the data, how the Python calculate. I can go more deeper level of Python calculation, but it is not today for that day. But I just trying to understand this can be doable over here. Now today you are saying, okay, this DF, Santosh, you can give me the entire description. Okay, can I get only the description, because date column is not required. I want to have only the sales column over here. So normally the Python code will understand you given a define, then before describe you can type the column name. Is a sales column you want it. Okay, give that and put control enter. So what will happen now? It is give only the description of the cells. It can say, okay, there is a column called cells. There are 96 lines over there. This is the mean. This is the standard deviation. You know, what is the minimum value? What is the maximum value? Now maximum value is saying 4930. Somewhere it will be there. Now I can to go change this to 5220. So you can see the moment it will go. Now it is not changing over here because your Power Query is not refreshed. The moment I go refresh the Power Query, you can see this 5200 will come. Like this is the way the data is connected over there. Okay, so not to go much about what Python can bring it. The people who know the Python codes, I know Python code is rightly, you can go to ChatGPT or Copilot, you will ask it, because you can see in my home screen I have already have a Copilot over here in Office 365. They give it. So what the beauty of that one, if you don't know what kind of formula calculations, what is described, because there are so many things are there, you can go ahead and ask the question. They can give you this kind of answers. Okay, so now not last but least, I just want to give a correlations calculation, which is actually a good part of your Excel. The Python, what they do it basically, Python is also not only limited to give you the value, but they give as part of your the diagram and charts and all. Okay, so now here certain data is there. There is few students are over here. They do couple of study and then make some scores. Now Python trying to understand how the plotting will be happen, what is the correlation between these two, how live will, the moment I can change this data, how can my diagram and everything will be changed. Okay, so this is just a sample data, but you can think about it can take a number of data to do this kind of calculation. So what I did, I put certain kind of a code. It's basically a normal code I have given. Okay, so now this particular table name I given as exam data. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I just go ahead, I write my Python formulas. Just want to give you that I type equals to Python, so it can understand this a Python formula, and I put control enter, because this is what I'm trying to give you. When you collect the data from Excel on Python, you need to write with Excel. So already I have written, I give enter. So now you can see it is trying to create the first the data frame, because any calculation you will do, first you need a data frame for that one. Now, what all can do apart from the Panda in the Python? It can have so many others. I will show my PPT and to give you. So this is something a code which I got from the Chat GPT. But again, this is very really understandable how it does it work, because many of you may not know the Python code. But this is the code which is required to give you a chart or graphs over there. So now what I'm going to do, this is the formula I have created. I'm going to inside where I have given. I give equals to py now. Okay, so now you can see this particular code is converted into a Python code over here. Now here we have a py as an object, but I can change as a Excel value. Now this is something the beauty over here. The Excel will give you a real-time data chart over here. Now you can see, okay, 2 hours 50 scores. Okay, now I can change this to 3 hours, and I change to 55 over here. You can see immediately my chart is changing. And how this is changing? Because of Azure. Because of Azure, it was going and changing the value, and it's a fraction of second. You can see now I given an identical one, 2 hour 53 or 55, 460. Okay, this is now becoming identical. My chart and graphs becoming identical over here. And if you want to, okay, where is this chart? How it is coming? It is nothing coming. It's inside a single cell, and in that single cell, I have a Python code behind it. And this is how the Python developer they write the code. So my objective is not to go more detail about the code, but what I'm saying, whatever you do it, whatever actions you do in the Python, now Excel is welcome to you. You can go ahead, just type equals to py and give your code. This all will be worked out over here. Okay, considering the time frame, I just want to go ahead my PPT. So what I just want to cover up what I have did so far now. Okay, so we have understood Python as a demo point of view. I just go to next. So Python today running in an Excel with a formula called Excel, which is started with defining the name. You have to start with the Python. It can get the data from the table, from the array, from the defined name, from the queries, from cell range. What not can do it. Only the thing is you have to start with the py. Okay, and remember Python formulas are case sensitive. Okay, if any changes will be there, it will be difficult. Now the output, this is something input. The output, as I told, just next to the Excel formula, but there will be two options. One is the Python object. It will be an in-memory system. The object, n number of data, just put as a box inside as an in-memory. We can have a data frame, the list and all. But the moment you want to execute as a values, go to the Excel values, it will come in the form of a text or number or charts. Everything will come out over here. And the moment you click this object over there, you can understand how many rows, how many columns. And again, as a data frame, what is the preview, the steering, what is the data type of the type name. All these things will be there over here. Now, want to tell you what are the ground rules are there. Okay. Please remember Python will be run in a sequential order. So when I say sequential order, let an example I go over here. This is my data frame, but this is my code which I have written over here. Okay. So now if I cut this and go over here and paste it, it is not going to image generate. It is going a Python error over here. You know why? Because first you need to data frame, then you can write this code at the right hand side, there will be no problem. If I go ahead, I got this code and paste over here. You can take certain time. Now you can see this is working over here. But when I put before to that, system don't understand that. So Python code, whenever you write, you just need to understand in the Excel, your data frame should be beginning. Then you can write your formula to the right hand side, the downside, there will be no problem. So the calculation order is required because Excel is designed in such a way. If you write your output formula just before to your data frame, that that will give you an error, that is a Python error over here. And again, as I told, calculations, we are having partial calculation, we have manual calculations. If you don't do, to make a better performance, you can go into the manual calculation. And these are certain errors are there, okay, which I'm not covering it. But as I told, this Python error will come whenever you are not ordering your formulas in Python, okay. Connection, some connection issue will be there, cloud is not working, that error will come. Whenever it's a max 100 MB data, as an execution point of view, it will work today, but again, they are working to make it betterment on that particular part. Busy when your internet is slow, it will give us a busy error on there, okay. Spill, if any data will be inside, it will not. So these are the error which you need to little groundwork on that particular part. Now this is the main page which I want to show you today. Excel can understand the Anaconda as the Python, but they keep improving. These are already inbuilt libraries are there, pandas are there, NumPy is there, C1 is there, Stats model is there, SkyPy, and Metapilot tab is there. So these all are already inbuilt. You no need to do anything. You just write your code, import that particular, the library, and do your actions over here. It will do fantastic job over there, very limited time to get it. So with this, I have done my presentations, and Gomati, I will hand over to you, and I am happy to take any questions from now, with considering the time last 6 minutes.
Hey, thank you so much, Santosh. It was really insightful and a lot of things which I have learned today specifically. And let us just open the forum for questions. If you have any questions or if you wanted to speak with us, you can just raise your hand or you can just leave that in the chat so that, like if you have any questions, we can just answer. Santosh is here to answer. Meanwhile, I'll just leave the LinkedIn ID of Santosh, myself, and Gerald so that you can connect with us even after after this session. If you have any questions, you can connect with us for sure. So I think we are getting a question. Okay, wonderful session. Thank you, Selvarani.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If you have, you can ask.
Will you have this session recorded, Ikram?
Yeah, it's already recording and it's going. It's live now, so you will be getting the. I'll be sharing the link soon.
Yeah.
So let's just Anbarus is typing something, and if it is a question, we can like you can try to answer.
Mhm. People can unmute as well.
They cannot unmute. If they want, they can raise the hand. I
Oh,
can unmute, like I can make them as a presenter to talk.
oh, okay.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll make everyone as a presenter so that if they wanted to talk, they can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a nice thing.
Anbarus, I made you as a presenter. You can talk now if you wanted to talk to him directly.
I think he's in mute. Anyone? Any of you?
I
Actually,
think
Anbarus is
Anbharat
typing.
can directly reach Sandoz after this meeting. Okay, finally.
Mhm.
Type this.
Mhm. Yeah. So it will be good, I'm happy, having wonderful feedback. Okay. We'll also keep continuing in the same spirit. Okay. I didn't come out any my further sessions. I would like to have you, the AI, which is the newly came into in Excel. So there is a lot of new features I've added. I may look forward some more sessions, and thanks, Gumati and Gerald, giving this sort of opportunity. Look forward some more interesting topics upcoming.
Okay, so
Yeah.
thanks one and all present here, especially my heartful thanks for Santosh Kamla for taking time and sharing his knowledge with the community, because it's completely new, and nowhere we can find these informations in YouTube or in anywhere in Google, and it's really very helpful, because as you mentioned, A and data taking a new shift. So thanks for sharing your great knowledge with the community. And thanks all for joining today for this session. Uh, we will send you a feedback form, and also uh, please get in touch with Santosh if you have any questions on the topics whichever he shared. So he is really very happy to help you all. And thanks all once again for this wonderful evening session. We'll see you in the next session. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Okay.